In a continuously growing world and society, why is it still legal to deny a human being the right to love whomever they please? What has occurred within the past 3 decades to enrage the public to deny the right to love and openness to a mass grouping of people? Most children spend their early years dreaming about the perfect wedding, what their spouse will look like, what they will wear, what type of cake, the whole 9 yards. Marriage is the unification of two people who love and care for one another and wish to further their relationship and start a family. But as of now, only 36 states allow same-sex couples to be legally recognized and given the right to marriage. This denies about 9 million Americans the rights, benefits, and joys of starting their own family. As of 2014, not many states or regions would allow gay and lesbian couples to be identified officially as a legal partnership, or to obtain the same rights and benefits given to heterosexual couples. By definition, a domestic partnership is a form of union under which gay, and sometimes non-gay couples in some states or regions can formalize their partnership. This is only one form of how homosexual couples may choose to label themselves. The other is through a civil union. The civil union was first created in Vermont in 2000 to provide some legal protections and responsibilities to gay and lesbian couples at a state level. But in 2009, the state legislature ended gay couples' exclusion from marriage after realizing civil union created a second-class citizenship. Both of these forms of labeling require much more legal action than marriage in order to gain protections for their children and themselves. By not allowing same-sex couples to have the right of marriage, society is labeling them and their children as unworthy. In Section 2 of DOMA, no state shall be required to give effect to any public act, record, or judicial proceeding of any other state, respecting a relationship between partners of same sex that is treated as marriage under the laws of such other state, or a right or claim arising from such relationship. A vital moment in the LGBTQ community was the revoking of a ban set by Massachusetts State that said same-sex marriage was illegal. The highest courts of Massachusetts stated that the ban on same-sex marriage denied homosexual couples a constitutional right. California briefly made same-sex marriage legal in 2008, but during the same year, voters supported and approved Proposition 8, banning gay marriage. Later in 2013, same-sex marriage became legal in the state of California. In the case of Obergefell v. Kasich, 2 Ohio men became legally married in the state of Maryland before one passed away from ALS. At this time, Ohio did not recognize same-sex couples as being legally wed, and despite being wed in Maryland, John Arthur's death certificate was labeled with the status of unmarried. This denies Obergefell the right of being listed as a surviving spouse. In 2008, the Supreme Court of Connecticut decided that it is unconstitutional to force same-sex couples into separate and equal state by offering civil unions but blocking them from civil marriage. They then ruled same-sex couples the right to marriage. Interpreting our state constitutional provisions in accordance with firmly established equal protection principles leads inevitably to the conclusion that gay persons are entitled to marry the same-sex partner of their choice, Richard Palmer wrote. To decide otherwise would require us to apply one set of constitutional principles to gay persons and another to all others. In June 2013, the Supreme Court voted to strike down Section 3 of the Discriminatory Defense of Marriage Act. The Supreme Court victory in the United States v. Windsor, striking down the Discriminatory Federal Defense of Marriage Act, or DOMA, affirms that all loving and committed couples that are married deserve equal legal respect and treatment from the federal government. Though gay marriage has picked up many supporters in the past few decades, there have been numerous drawbacks and setbacks by conflicting views. These drawbacks can also be linked to the Supreme Court because of the differing interpretations of the Constitution.
But it's very clear where the court is wanting to go, which is toward finding a constitutional right to same-sex marriage. I, of course, don't think there is any such constitutional right, but the court seems to be moving in that direction.
Now more than ever, public support for same-sex couples having the same rights as heterosexual couples is at an all-time high. Support amongst younger-aged Americans is highest, but now 38% of American adults aged 65 and older believe it should be legal. This is up from just 30% 4 years ago. Amongst the adults aging 40 to 64, 51% support same-sex marriage and would like to see Congress show more valiant effort in giving those treated unfairly the same rights as other Americans. With this hopeful increase in the growing in benefits for same-sex couples, advocates are working harder than ever to fight Congress and the Supreme Court system to earn the rights that same-sex couples so fairly deserve.
Because when I pledge allegiance to the flag, I pledge allegiance to one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have divided our nation, 1/3 with equality and 2/3 with people who hunger for equality but do not have it. Our work is not done, but I am optimistic